And welcome, everybody, to Saturday edition of Conversations with Coryelle. It is so nice to see you, my dear. How are you? What is that behind you, that purple stuff?
Oh, it's the stuff you stuff packages and presents with and all this
Oh,
kind of
cool.
good stuff.
Oh, cool. Well, you've got quite a few packages there that you've taken.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I've been gift wrapping a lot of stuff lately.
Have you been?
No.
I didn't think so.
Excuse me, no. But I thought it was festive without being non-denominationally festive.
Very nice, very nice. So you don't have to worry about whether it's a holiday or whether it's Hanukkah or whether it's Christmas. It's all of the above.
Right. Or Kwanzaa or any of the other things. We're all good. You know, I don't want to mess anybody up.
Exactly. How was your week?
It was a very good week. It's been a very good week. We've been really, me and my team have been really preparing for and gearing up and getting ready for the radio show Coast to Coast. So that's good.
Isn't that cool? You have a team.
I do have a team. I have a team of peeps. It's awesome. So we've been really gearing up and getting ready for it, and it's been fun. And then, on top of doing the normal stuff that I do with animal clients and the people clients and all this other kind of stuff. And it's been a really, really good week.
Well, that is awesome. And we were talking prior to here about your show that's going to be on Coast to Coast, and that's going to be December 14th.
December 14th. Now, we're going to work out, I'm getting all the information gathered, times for each time zone and everything else like that there. It can be I'm finding it can be a little confusing. I should have all that information because I want to put that on my Facebook page and send it out to my email list before it, and I might even put it up as a post on my website. But I'm going to make sure to do this. But I'm talking to the producer this week, getting all this information. So what people should do is they should check their local listings for December 14th, Coast to Coast, when that plays in your time zone. If you can't find it, because I'm finding it interesting to find, then you can absolutely go to Coryelle Kramer, find me on Facebook. I will post it on my Facebook business page. I will post it on my personal page. I will make it public so everyone can see it. And I will also talk about it next week, because by next week I should absolutely have all that information. But it's going to be Coast to Coast, December 14th. And that's early in the morning, depending on your time zone, or a little late in the evening, depending on your time zone. But we will post all that. I promise.
And I get the impression that depending upon where you are and which time zone you're in and all of that and which station it's on will determine when you're going to hear it. And so it's going to take a little bit of time to figure that out, but it'll be well worth it, because our friend Coryelle will be on a national radio show, which is heard coast to coast, hence the name.
And the world. So this is really the first time that I am given the opportunity to, at one time, bring the animal dynamics and what I can do with animals to thousands upon thousands of people. So it is huge, and it's extremely exciting, and it's a little bit terrifying, but it's mainly exciting, and it's a great opportunity. So this is going to be really, I would consider this the unveiling to the world, if not just to the entire U.S. of America,
but it's also on the internet.
The dynamics.
Yeah, it's on the internet too. So that will be heard worldwide, and whether or not the internet is recorded or whether it's live, it doesn't matter, because it will be heard around the globe, and
Yeah,
then that'll give you the opportunity to really get the message out about what you're doing.
absolutely. This is really it's what I consider the unveiling of the animal dynamics worldwide. And it's a extremely exciting time. So if you want to listen to it live, you can go to coasttocoastam.com. If you want to listen to it on different radio stations, you can go to uh, I think it's coast to coast AM /stations.com, and you can find the stations. You can find a station. You can listen to it live in New York. If you're in Albuquerque, you can listen to it live from Los Angeles. If you're in China, whatever, it doesn't matter. So you can just find a station near you and listen to me live. Any support that you can do, you also will be able to call in and ask questions. So any support you can do, hey, it's appreciated. It's loved. Even if it's just to give me a little shout out and just say, Coryelle, it's boop boops, and and I'm your client from 2000 whatever, and I'd be like, thank you for calling in. All clients are welcome.
No, absolutely, and also if you've got if you have a really cool story that you'd like to tell about Coryelle, that would be really cool for you to go there and talk about how she helped your pet, and you guys get along and stuff like that. So
That's true.
that would be really fun. That'll be
That's
fun.
true. Yes, it will.
And but you've been doing this thing, and you should not be terrified of this at all. You've been doing this for a long time, and you're very good at it.
Thank
So it should be you should be like falling off the turnip truck, as it were.
No, it, I'm just the bigness of it
Right.
is what I'm saying. And it doesn't scare me. I'm sure that I can handle it without messing it up. I'm not worried about that. And it's all good. It's just the bigness of it. I mean, if somebody told you, not you, Kevin, but somebody out there right now, hey, you're going to be on Coast to Coast Radio talking about your job or talking about stuff you love, you'd be like, oh my God, that's big. So it's big. I'm acknowledging and embracing the bigness of the
As
whole
well,
situation.
you should. By the way, it isn't going to be big until you and I get an airplane ticket to go to Oprah and sit down with Oprah for a while.
That Miss O, the divine Miss O is what I call her. Yes, Oprah. I would that would be awesome.
Yes, it would be. And
Thank you, Jennifer.
Jennifer has it
Thank,
right. You're going to be awesome as always.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really, really do. So
Yes. So let's talk about the animal dynamics for the end of week. I believe this is the end of week 5.
it is. So we have been talking so far about the energetic, the direct and demanding, the rule breaker, the shifter, the sensory. And what I wanted to do today was, and I've been showing toys and things like that there. And what I wanted to do today was I wanted to kind of like dissect the shifter a little bit so we can understand and why this works so well for not only the shifter but the other dynamics. So there are 6 dynamics right now at this point of time. There are 6 dynamics, and the 6 dynamics are the direct and demanding, the energetic, the rule breaker, the sensory, the shifter, and the transcendent. So each one is a total and different personality archetype. So let's say the rule breaker, or I'm sorry, the direct and demanding is kind of like the guardian, the protector archetype. Okay, so think of somebody like The Rock. You know, when you see The Rock, he's the big guy, but he's got this gentleness about him, this protector feel, not this kind of thing feel. So he's like a great example of the guardian archetype if you were going to put your animal into a person form. So then the energetic would be kind of like the empathic archetype. So think about kind of like, okay, I know that my nerd side is going to be showing up, okay? But think about and I forgot her name, although I was watching it all Thanksgiving long. I think it's Aloria, but I might be wrong. She's the fairy queen in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She's all white hair, and I believe she's played by Kate Blanchett.
Yes.
Magnificent, okay? But she's very empathic, she senses, she's telepathic, she feels. So think of her, think of Aloria, like, I think that's her name, sorry, but, think of her like the energetic archetype if your person was a human. Then you got the rule breaker, okay? Now the rule breaker is a little bit of a comedian, okay? They're a little bit of a trickster, but they're a little mischievous. You know, they're a little bit, yeah. I don't want to say sly because sly is not a thing, but I don't mean it negative here. But somebody who's like, fast thinking and, like la ba ba, and I'm breaking the rules. So I think of them kind of like if your animal was going to be a person, they would be like Jimmy Fallon. Okay, I think he's great because I think he's fast thinking. He's a little bit mischievous. He's a little bit sly, but not in a bad way. But he's cool, So that's kind of like the rule breaker if your animal was going to be a rule breaker or a human. Then you have the sensory, and the sensory, I believe, is more of the pacifist archetype. So the pacifist archetype is not weak by any means, but they believe in peace, not conflict. So somebody like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, okay?
Or George Clooney. No.
Um, okay. I'm not going to say no, but the sensory. So
Right.
they're very sensitive. They're very, but they're strong, but they will pick up the, the pen before they pick up the sword.
Right.
Okay. Gentle. So that's what the sensory is all about in human form. And then you have the shapeshifter. So the shapeshifter or the shifter is the chameleon archetype. All right. So when I think of the chameleon, I think of Eddie Murphy. Even though he's a comedian, he or Robin Williams, he can shift from one thing to the other to the other. So it's like this, he's shifting back and forth, and Eddie Murphy can shift. I mean, think about his movies when he was doing his movies, and he was playing the mother, he was playing the father, he was playing the grandfather, and it's like, and all of them are different archetypes, different, totally different personalities. Okay, it's hilarious. All right. So that's the shifter. And then finally we have the transcendent. The transcendent I consider, and again, no archetype is better than the other, no dynamic is better than the other, but the Zen master is what I consider the transcendent. And so think of the first thing that comes to my mind is Yoda. Yoda, Zen master, always in the flow.
Yes.
Connection, connecting to the force, connecting to divine, which is divine, connecting to source, things like that there. So I would consider like Yoda. I would also consider the Dalai Lama a transcendent. So each one is different. And so when you put them all together into the shifter, you don't know which animal you're going to get on any given basis. Now, for some people, they find that really exhilarating and fun and exciting. maybe sometimes a little frustrating, but that's okay because then they go back to, no, this is awesome. Some people would find this kind of animal a little bit too much. They're big. They've got big personalities. So because the shifter is constantly shifting from one dynamic to another, you are going to have a lot of toys. Okay? Because one toy is not going to do it for this dynamic. Because from one minute it could be a sensory, next minute they could be an energetic, next minute they could be transcendent. So you're going to move from one to the other and just see. So that's why these are so powerful, because these toys, as opposed to just getting any toy off of any website and just throwing it at your animal and hoping you hit pay dirt, you can really gear your toys to your animal's personalities. Does that make sense?
It
Okay.
does to me.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them on the comments because I can answer them. But so let's start taking this apart. Okay. And when I say it, I don't mean the animal, I mean the dynamic. So I don't call animals its. Okay. So the guardian, protector, the direct and demanding. So they got bold personalities. They're in your face. They're not afraid to look you in the eye all the time, a lot. Okay. Their motto that I've come to understand, God love them, is they want what they want when they want it, whenever that is, period. There's no like, oh, give me 5 minutes and I'll be right with you, fluffy poo poo. No. Okay. They're like, no. Hello. Hello. Is this thing on? Now. I want it now. So they can be a little, direct. They really can be. They're super confident. They're a little bit cocky. Okay. They're very protective. So I'm not saying to the point of if they're in the minus spectrum, which is when I'm talking right now, the positive archetypes. Okay. The minus spectrum is when they're in the negative part of the archetype. Did you want to explain what that is?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm
So
kidding. Of course I do. If you would like to talk to Coryelle and actually be in the stream, as it were, then you can put that into the StreamYard.com into your browser, and you will appear magically, and then I'll put you on with her so you can ask her a question or get some advice or just to say hello, which yeah, you may do it, you may not, but it's a kind of a new thing. We've been experimenting with it, and people are taking advantage of it.
Mhm.
It's kind
Yep,
of cool.
it is kind of cool. So some other things. They're super friendly, super loving, super loving. Okay. They're just like they're kissing you and they love you and they're nuzzling you. They're just super loving. Okay. They're not afraid to, do something. They're bold, like I said before. Okay. So a good example for a toy for the direct and demanding is, and again, if you want to see this toy, you can go back and watch the toy episode for the direct and demanding because I did want to make Kevin crazy and put up every single toy we did for the last 8 shows. So there's something called the Super Tug. So it's something with a suction cup that if you have a sturdy surface like a floor or a wall or something else like that, it's a ball that's attached to a very strong rope, and they can use that. There's also the actually the Super Tug also comes in a rope that gets attached to something very sturdy like a tree. And it's also got a ball attached to it, and your dog just pulls it. I mean, it's great for pullers and direct and go, pullers. I want this toy. So it's great. There's stuff called flip pole, excuse me, flip poles. The other one is we talked about something called the kitty fish. Now I posted a video last week, and Kevin, I'm sorry I didn't give it to you, but we posted a video. I posted a video to my Facebook page personally last week of my own cats playing with this toy. Now my cat Sacred, who is 100% sensory, with a tad bit of a rule breaker in her, but she's really 100% sensory, was having none of it. It's too much for her. It overloaded her. She's not happy with it. What?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I saw that video. You didn't give it to me to put on this forum, but it's on Facebook,
Right.
and you can go there, and your black cat, which is
Sacred.
wanted nothing to do with it. She looked
Nothing.
at it and went, nah.
Walked away. No, she didn't even walk away. She avoid. So let's say the kitty fish was here. She went around it. She was like, "No, we're not even touching this thing." But immediately, the orange ginger boy was all over it. Okay, so it's a really great toy for them. Then there's something called the Flingama String. Now, what this is that it's again an electronic toy that gets attached to like a really sturdy surface, like a door handle, or a doorknob is probably better than a door handle. And this thing flings a string in weird kind of like ways. So the cat is going like this, trying to catch it. But see, there's that's the difference. The direct and demanding is really almost an anything goes kind of cat, but it's nothing that's really they're nothing that's really, they don't like being bored, just like the rule breaker. So things also like puzzles will be great for the direct and demanding, but really great for the rule breaker. Okay, because the direct and demanding might, if they're easy enough, yeah, because they want to get at it, they really want to get at it and get at it quick. The rule breaker is different. So what we did then is we did the energetic. So toys for the energetic, and you will see. Now we're talking about a totally different range of toys, so you're really going to see how different the dynamics are. So the toys for the dynamic, things like crystals. I know it doesn't sound like toys, and again, nothing too small, but maybe putting like a nice crystal in their bed or next to their bed or something else like that there, they'll really enjoy because the energetic loves crystals. There is the LED ball. There was an LED ball that we showed. There was something called the Tricky Paws from Mama.com. And the Tricky Paws, interestingly enough, was really cool. But the Tricky Paws, even though it's an interactive toy, it's lighted. It's got this dome with lights coming out of it at different intervals, and you can make it as slow because, again, you don't want to over too fast, and the toy going too fast might overwhelm the energetics. So you can make it go at different times. It's so they can go and kind of like, put their paw in there and try to get that, and the light, most importantly, is safe. You want to make sure that the laser light is safe for their eyes. So that's kind of like the idea of the energetic. Then we went on to the rule breaker. The rule breaker, look, you want a happy rule breaker, get them a puzzle, get them a treat puzzle, and you can start them off with an easy one. Okay, but really don't be surprised if after like 5 minutes that puzzle is actually just a treat holder as opposed to a toy. That's what one of the first puzzle I gave to Tau was all about. It's now just a treat holder. It slows him down so he doesn't eat half in his treats. But that's not a puzzle. He's like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So if you think it looks too hard for you, then it's probably good for your rule breaker animal. Okay. So again, the rule breaker is something that really and truly needs challenges. They love being challenged, is the rule breaker. They love being challenged, unlike the energetic. So the energetic is something, they're super sensitive to energies. So you want to make sure that you don't overwhelm them too much. They can be attracted to the energies of people, places, things, and situations. They might not like food that's too heavy. They might like food that's lighter. It's amazing how these dynamics can be applied, but they like to do things at their own pace. So you want to make sure that you don't overwhelm them with the toys that you get. So the rule breaker is the exact opposite. The rule breaker is like, gimme, 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 gimme. The harder the better. I want it, I want it, I want it. Let me really, really work for it so I can really think outside the box. And they also force you to think outside the box for them for the toys. So the toys for the rule breaker, treat hockey. You know, I have these treats that I give to my boy, and what he loves is, he loves more than anything, when it's not the treat holder puzzle, he loves more than anything for me to take these treats and wing them across the room. Now, what it is that he's got to go chase them. And then I try to make it so that, you know, if he's in one room and I'm in the other room, that it's like winging the treat through the door. If I get it through the door and before he gets it, then I get a point. If not, then he gets a point. So we're playing this game. It's fun for you. It's fun for him. It's all really, really good stuff. So another example for the rule breaker, the toy that we have is the cat treat toy, cheese toy. Now what this is it's a block of cheese. So it's a block of cheddar cheese, a triangular block of cheddar cheese with holes in it. And every so often, in different intervals, a mouse pops its head out of the hole.
It's a whack-a-mole.
It's a whack-a-mole for cats. Another one that we had was something called the Floppy fish toy for dogs. This was hysterical. I also consequently, after doing that show, I found out that they make a floppy fish toy for cats. And it's literally what it says. It is a fish, okay, made from very, very strong material. It's almost like a bulletproof kind of like material.
Kind of like a Kevlar vest.
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah, but it's not Kevlar. But it's very thick. It's very durable and it flops like a like a fish
Out
if
of
you
water.
take them out of the water. And it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. But again, that toy is not going to work for the energetic. And it sure as hell won't work, excuse my French, for the sensory. Too different. It's too different. They can't handle it. Cannot handle it. Okay. Then what I did was we found the rule breaker. We found there was also the rule breaker for horses, the toys for horses. And there was something called the Lick It. And what it is that there is this, as opposed to a ball, it's got this cylinder filled with treats. And what your horse has to do is they got to figure out not only how to get to it, but also how to get it so that when they lick it, it doesn't push it even more. So that was very interesting. All of these, consequently, when I posted them on my Facebook page, I also made sure to post links to the toys. Okay. All right. So what we did was we went on from there. And again, these are only a small amount to give you an idea of how your shifter animal is going to think. So then we have the sensory. Now, the sensory animal is very interesting. The sensory animal is they love to snuggle. They love to um uh, they love soft things. They love to cuddle. But what's important with the sensory animal is that they move at their own pace. If you want to support them, and I mean when you support them is honor their dynamic. If you want to support who they are as a being, let them come to you. Don't go to them and say, "I want to touch you." Boop, 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 boop. That's not going to work for a sensory animal. They're going to either run the other way or they're going to totally and completely ignore you. So you see the difference between like the different spectrums between like the rule breaker and the direct and demanding and the sensory. The rule breaker and direct and demanding, you could do that without a problem. You could toss them, not toss them, but you pick them up, cuddle them, and they're fine. If I did that with my girl Sacred, she would scratch me to half of my life being gone, and then she would run the other way and hide, and I wouldn't see her for hours. So they love snuggly things. They're very sensitive to noise, to touch, to smells, to sounds, to tastes. So don't be surprised if they'll eat something one day and the next day they're like, nope, I don't want that. Nope, I don't want that. So you should also make sure that with a sensory animal that you make doubly sure that whatever products you use in the house are as natural as possible. Things like Windex, fantastic, might be really causing problems for the sensory animal things, and it could be causing health problems because they're extremely sensitive. So that means that they are very prone to things like nasal issues, sinus issues, rashes, hot spots, things like that there. So for the sensory animal, a toy for the sensory animal, there was this really beautiful toy, and it's a tunnel. It's called the Lima Tunnel. And again, I posted it on my website, on my page. But it's basically, if you go to the House Panther website, and house is spelled the German way of spelling house, which is Haus, Panther, okay? .com, and search for Lima, Lima, you'll find it. It's this beautiful felt tunnel that is really cool because you can actually contort it from a tunnel into a box-like thing into something else. So it's really, really cool, but it feels nice. It's this nice soft felt, okay? Then there's also the toy, the Sheer Fun for cats. Sheer, again, www.sheer, SHEER, fun4cats.com. It's a sheet that you put over maybe, or you can attach to a table. And what they can do is they can see through it. So it's really cool for the sensory. It wouldn't be cool if it wasn't opaque because it might frighten them if they can't see what's coming. This way they can see what's coming, and you can have a feather toy in front of it, and they're behind it, and they have to go and get it and try to get it and stuff like that. They're perfect toy for a sensory animal. What was the other thing? Oh, licky mats. Licky is Licki. Licky mats, you can find them all over the place, but the licky mats are really cool for dogs, cats. They even have them for all different kinds of animals. But what it is that it's a mat with all different kinds of grooves in it in different kinds of ways and holes in it, and you put their food in that, or you put treats in there, and they have to savor. That's the other thing the sensory animal dynamic loves, savoring, enjoying their time, their space, the moment. They're all about that. So this way they can really slow down and eat their food and enjoy their food. And it also helps to keep them from aspirating their food, especially for the short nosed dogs, like the Frenchies, the bulldogs, things like that there. Any questions so far, anyone?
I don't. Of course, I've been listening to every one of these, and they're very good. But I love that video that you showed, and that is a perfect example of the two different types of cats living in the same house, looking at the same toy, having two completely different reactions to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was really powerful. It was the first time I took it out of the box, so he had no idea what it was, which is my orange ginger over there sitting on his cat tree. And my girl Sacred, I was just like, well, let's see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. You know, I could be, I could be spitballing, I don't know. So I gave it a shot, and I was shocked. Shocked. I wasn't shocked, but I was like, whoa, that is powerful, because she would have absolutely nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it.
Didn't even pretend that it was even there.
No. And she loves feathers. That's the other thing you might want to try. And a great toy for sensory is the feathers, any kind of feathers, peacock feathers, stuff like that there. They love that kind of stuff, because when you take a toy and you move it at different paces, so that you start off slow for the sensory. So they're like, oh, boops, oh, boops. And then you get, they get into it, you can move it a little faster, and then move it a little slower, and then move it a little faster. And then it gets them excited, because it feels like you're moving at their pace, and you're able to see how they when they're receptive and when they're not receptive. So they love when you move at their pace. They really, really love that. It's important to them. So then you have the shifter, and we had a lot of shifter toys last week. But one other toy that I really want to mention, and it's not a toy, it's more of an object, but it's really, really cool. And I think it's an important, really good company that I want to support. I don't get any endorsements, any money from any of these companies. Okay. So don't start thinking anything like that. This is purely, I've tried a lot of these out, and this is what I love. One of my favorite things is the Bessie and Barney beds. The Bessie and Barney beds can be found on bessieandbarney.com. You can customize your own animals' beds. Dogs, cats, ferrets, I don't care. Whatever. Rats, whatever. Whatever you got. I don't care what you got. But it's like these beds are so cool, because you can do different colors, like lollipop, which is this bright hot pink with like pony, which is like the pony color, or cow or something. Is really, really cool. They have hundreds of options. A lot of fun. Trust me though, okay? If you're going to go and customize your own bed, allot yourself at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Okay, because I'm promising you, okay, you're going to be like, oh, what is this all about? What is that all about? And you're going to be trying hundreds. Plus, they have so many different bed options. They have the bagel bed. They have they have another bed that looks like that you can drawstring it, and it comes up and it looks like a flower, like that. And it's awesome. So bessieandbarney.com. These beds are fantastic, because you can flip them. So you can have one kind of like texture, like shag, on one side, and flip it to the other side, and it be like a really soft, kind of like, those really soft blankets that you get, that you just want to roll into. They're not fleece, but they're like, they feel like velvet. Oh, Love those. I love those blankets. I have like 50 of them in my house. I kid you not. Anyway, but you can do that. So you can also the shifter. Remember the shifter and the sensory. So these are also great for the shifter too. All these toys you can get for the shifter. So what it is that one day I'll flip it so that the he's laying on the my boy Tau and or Sacred is laying on the shag. And when I see that that's maybe too much for Sacred, I'll flip it over where it's more that fleecy kind of thing, which she loves. Okay. And the best thing about them, 9 times out of time, what happens? I don't know. Nine, 9 times out of 10 with these beds, you cannot wash them unless you got a front loading washing machine. And if you do, God love you. Okay. I don't. I got the top loader. Okay. You can't wash these beds for love nor money. All right. And it's a pain in the neck because then they start getting ooky. And when they start getting ooky, I'm like, I got to toss them, which is money out the door. The Bessie and Barney beds have a zipper. So you can take the cover off, throw it in the washing machine, bada bing, bada boom, Bob's your uncle, you're done. Okay, it's nice and clean, put it back on the pillow, whoops, there you go. They even have replacement pillows, because the pillows start sinking down, so you could get replacement pillows. I'm telling you, this company is awesome. Okay, it's all made in America, handmade. Okay, love it. Love this company. Love, crazy love. Okay. So then the shifter, big personalities, like I said, constantly shifting from one day to the next, sometimes from 1 minute to the next, or from 1 hour to the next. Okay. They love to play a lot, endlessly. They can play almost, like the Labrador that just keeps you throwing that ball, you're throwing that stick, you're throwing that ball, you're throwing that stick. And, pretty soon you're throwing your arm out.
Yep.
They love to play endlessly. There may be one single dynamic that is leading the pack, or it could be they could be a whole shifter, so they're constantly shifting. What I mean by that is you can have an energetic shifter, you can have a transcendent shifter, you can have a direct and demanding shifter. You get the idea. Get creative with them. They love variety. Variety with the shifter animal is the spice of life. All right. So toys that I talked about last week for the shifter. Again, I like going to, hang on. Hi. Yeah, hi. Are you going to cause trouble? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure and get that clear. So,
Which now who was that?
who do you think? Take a guess.
Teo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, it's going to be the orange ginger. Why? Why? Because he is a direct and demanding rule breaker. God put that into my life.
And
Never dull moment.
was
Never dull moment.
he was talking to you? Did he want to come up and sit on your lap?
Yeah, but then he walked away. So he was kind of teasing me. He was kind of like, I'm going to jump. Nah, I'm not going to jump. I'll psych you out. And I'm like, see? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the shifter. So again, variety. So things like boxes. What I mean by that is there are different companies that will give you a box a month club or a box of every other month club. I found one called the hang on 1 second. I want to make sure I get this one because this was cool. I found this after the show, but there's one called catladybox.com. It has stuff in it for both you and your cat. Really cool, nice stuff. And a lot of people were talking, oh, I love catladybox.com. So they have BarkBox. They also have them through Chewies. But here's the thing. I like supporting companies that are kind of supporting, how do I say this? Supporting small businesses. Because I think it's like giving back. Chewy's is fine. Chewy's is always going to be fine. Okay? It just is. But there's there it goes. Yeah, great. Okay. But Cat Lady Box, what they do is they support independent artists and small businesses with their boxes and their contents. They donate a portion of their profits to cat rescues each month. So it's really, 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 really cool. You have pupmomcrate.com. Pupmomcrate.com is great because it's also the same thing. They have good quality toys that are made by, you know, local artisans and things like that there. So as opposed to Chewy's, I just say, give it a shot. So that's good because your animal is good. It's a different toy every month. It's a different toy every month. Yay. Plus, they're going to sit in the box anyway. So you might as well, that's a toy in and of itself. There's something called the carrot ball for horses. This was really cool. This was found on chewies.com. You could probably find it someplace else. But you can stick things like parsnips, turnips, carrots, apples into the holes. And the cool thing about that is that your horse is not going to be able to get it to an apple the same way they can get to a carrot, and vice versa. So that's another idea I had. But there's a lot of different ways that you can support your animal. But I thought this was a good time to kind of like pick apart everything so you can start to really see how different the dynamics are and how they all come together in the shifter. And next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the transcendent. And these might not be this object, or these objects might not be toys, but they are absolutely going to support your transcendent animal.
Very cool. And so that's going to be next week, and Tuesday at noon, and Friday, or Saturday at noon. And that's going to be, let's see, next Saturday is the last time that you'll get to find out more about the event that's happening on the 14th, because that's a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and that she's going to be on Coast to Coast. And I was amazed that you're going to be like, they generally book like 2 guests a show, and you're going to be on for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I am supposedly, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yes.
I think that's really cool. And of course, Sherry says, very interesting. Thanks.
You're welcome, Sherry.
So that will be great fun. And please stay up late and find out where it is locally in your time zone. And
just wait until I post it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Please. Just wait. Let's just do it that way. Just wait until I post it on the Facebook, and then we're good.
Makes sense to me. And if anybody has anything else they'd like to say to Coryelle, or a question for her, now would be the time, because we're wrapping this one up in a minute.
We are wrapping it up.
Indeed. So
thank you for supporting all this, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I've enjoyed it. So where are you spending Christmas?
Right here. Not in this fluff, but in the comfort of my own home. Very nice.
Me as well, because my own home is very comfortable for me, and I'm very happy with it. So all right, kids. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show today, and again, we'll see you next Tuesday. I'm interested to learn more about the transcendent, We haven't
Mhm.
talked a great deal about the transcendent, so that'll be good to know.
It's a very, very interesting dynamic. Very cool, very interesting. They're all interesting. They're all awesome. Um, it's just yeah, it's interesting the way I think the objects especially that I'm gonna show you, those are gonna really click for you.
I think so too. So, if and with that, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We will see you next Tuesday, right here on Conversations with Coryelle. That's the name of the show. That's her name right there and stuff. So I'd like to thank everybody, and you have a great day. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy.